All right, Gophers fans, it is your favorite episode of the week. It's time for predictions. We're talking predictions with Tristyn Spann-Ford for the Eastern Michigan week. I don't think you're ready for this one.
Hey,
You are Locked On Golden Gophers.
No matter what we're going to do here, we're just going to keep rowing.
Your daily podcast on the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
However it turns out, we're just going to keep rowing.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
We're just going to keep rowing, and keep rowing.
All right, you are listening to Locked On Golden Gophers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name's Kane Rob, host of the podcast, former collegiate video coordinator and recruiting assistant here to talk Golden Gophers with you. And I am joined by our weekly co-host, Tristyn Spann-Ford. We're back at it, ready again to give you the good, hopefully funny, who knows? We're just trying to give you the vibes, give you the Gopher talk over at Locked On Golden Gophers. Tristyn, how is it going?
It is going great. I mean, we got a win, so I have no complaints. I mean, it was a boring and exciting struggle of a win, but a win's a win. We don't apologize for wins around here.
Exactly. And I feel like you covered every spectrum of emotion in this game. You were bored, you were mad, you were sad, you were happy, you were screaming. I mean, it's everything you want in a Big Ten opener, right?
I agree. I loved it. From start to finish, it was that at one point it was, punt, turnover, punt. It was the quintessential Big Ten football. I loved it.
Absolutely. Well, today's show is brought to you by the Gametime app. You can download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. But we're going to kick this show off with some questions from week one. Then we'll do our classic over-unders and predictions. And folks, if you are listening, you've heard us do these predictions before. We're keeping track this year. Starting next week, we'll have a little ticker on the bottom that shows who won each week. It's going to be a good time, and feel free to join along in the comments as well. We always enjoy the participation, the feedback, and the good comments. We don't enjoy the bad comments. We'll avoid those ones.
No, I agree. I ran into a couple of people at the game even who listened to the pod. Shout out them. It was awesome.
Yes, sir. That's what we like to hear. So let's kick it off with, what were your biggest concerns walking away from this week one game?
I mean, I think it's going to be on the top of everyone's list. It's got to be the running game. And I don't know if it's a slow start because of without Mo, if that's that big of an issue, or if it's, maybe these guys aren't just ready for Big Ten football yet, but it's got to be the running game. What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I feel like Mo hid a lot of the errors, like in a hard defensive game, crazy random stunts, blitzes, and all that. Mo would still fight through the muck and get you 5 yards of carry, even though you were asking yourself how. And maybe at the same time, it didn't feel like it was hard at the time, but now we're watching these new backs and we're like, oh, we were spoiled. We did have it good.
Exactly.
I'm definitely with you there.
No, it's definitely the run game. I'm sure you're going to have more insight on the offensive line than me. You're more intuitive in that aspect of the game, because I just sometimes have no clue who's supposed to be going where, who wants to play what position. So I know there was some confusion around there, but hopefully we can kind of piece some things together at the offensive line spot.
I'm still learning in the offensive line game too, but the pass blocking was pretty decent. The run blocking, especially on the interior, was pretty rough, but hopefully they can fix it when it's more of a normalized defense this upcoming week. But moving on to the opposite side, what were you most impressed with in this game?
I think it has to be Athan. It has to be Athan. And that, I think, because he's such a huge part of the offense, and obviously you need your starting quarterback to be the dude. It was after that first pick. That's when I knew I was, just like I said last week. It's after the first pick. How does he respond when he makes mistakes? And he just kept slinging it. And he never dropped his head. No, he flushed it immediately. And I think that's what you need, especially in a quarterback this young. No quarterback has gone without throwing a pick. And so being able to flush that and just keep throwing it. There's a couple of questionable balls there, here and there, but I mean, I think everything pointed to, this is the guy. This is a dude that is we have at the helm.
I'm with you. I am proud to say that is my quarterback. Like,
yeah,
Plain and simple.
Agreed.
AK8 is my quarterback. I'm happy
Love it.
for it. But I was most impressed with how the defense really balled out from the jump, and missing our maybe second best player on the defense in Cody Lindenberg. Joe Rossi has those guys right from week one, and I am excited to see how they continue. They're going to get a good test in a week from this weekend, and I think that's really going to either put Minnesota on the map for respect and defense, or it's going to maybe show where we can continue to grow. But you know what? If that defense balls out versus North Carolina 2 weeks from now, it's going to be hard to think that Joe Rossi will be back with this team next year, because somebody is going to be making that man a head coach.
I agree, and I can't even argue with it. I can't argue with it. Like, even when I found out that Lindenberg wasn't playing, I'm like, how deep are we? Like, because everyone can get the job done. How many different D linemen played, and almost all of them had tackles, and a few of them had sacks that were coming, not necessarily part of that starting four. It was awesome. Like, it's awesome. Like, you can't not be excited for this season, thinking if this offense really comes together and clicks, which, I mean, it was an ugly game, but I don't think we're that far off, how dangerous of a team this could be, especially in Big Ten play. Like, I mean, we talk about how difficult our schedule is, but honestly, with that defense, if you got a defense that can hold anyone under 15 points, which is what it seems like they just want to do every week, they just go and do it. It seems like you could beat anyone.
No, I get that. And also, I feel like a lot of people are now trying to say, well, Nebraska's a bad team. If you watched that Nebraska game and came away not thinking that team looked better than the last 3-4 years of Nebraska that we've seen, then I don't know what to tell you, because that defense was formidable. And I'm hoping that as we head into this next week, they're going to be on primetime again, facing primetime. And I think that is going to be an opportunity for them to really shut up the haters and maybe give the Gophers a bit more credit with this win too.
No, I definitely agree. I didn't think by any means they were slouches. I mean, this is still Nebraska we're talking about. It's not like, Matt Rule didn't come in there and get a bunch of guys out of the transfer portal, or a few guys at least. And they weren't a slouch. Now, I'm not saying that they were, I don't think they're going to win the Big Ten, but I wouldn't disrespect them in that way. And maybe it's just because we barely beat them. Maybe we're talking a different conversation if we would have killed them, but
gotta pump ourselves up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I got to ask you, what was the reaction on the Daniel Jackson touchdown? Was it that down where your seats were for that game too? So you had that live and in person, right?
I saw it right away. First of all, the first one, I thought the first one was a touchdown, which was still, and those are those throws that Athan was making that we're talking like a millisecond earlier, and those are, unquestionable touchdowns. But that catch was insane. But it looks even better in the picture. He's got the Air Jordan going. Oh.
I'm saying Dinkytown athletes dropped a Daniel Jackson shirt and they called it the toe tap or something like that. I'm telling you, they missed out on the prime, dirtiest phrasing opportunity of calling it Air Jackson. That would have been perfect if they just threw Air Jackson on that with that. Oh,
hey, you might need to text him, tell him to get that copyrighted.
Right. All right, so the last question before we head on over to our over-unders is, who do you think is going to have the biggest bounce back in week 2 on this Gophers team?
In week 2, I mean, pending injury, I know he's got, it's the knee is all whatever it was, but it's got to be Chris. And I would love to see him, but I don't want him. If he's not 100%, I don't want to see him. I could care less to see him if he's not 100%. But if he is, I think he's going to come out in a statement effort. And I'm not sure what the timetable looks like, but it's definitely got to be Chris, because I thought he was going to play more week 1, and I was very excited about it. But here we are.
It sounds like he's close. It sounds like from the last presser, Coach Fleck said Chris and Crab, same person, right? Chris, Cody Lindenberg, and Darnell Jeffries all could be back in the near future. Now, what does the near future mean? Does it mean this non-conference game, or does it mean maybe a big-time opponent like North Carolina? We'll see on that one, but I'm with you. That would be a big option for me. I'm going to choose Nathan Bowe because I think that he struggled in this one more than I expected. And I think now facing a defense that is more of that casual 3-4 or that casual 4-3 that you see more on every given week, I think he's going to find more success and he's going to help lead this offensive line a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick.
All right, so we're going to move on to over-unders, but before we do that, I got to give a shout out to our friends, and our friends for this one are none other than, whoops, not that one. They got free advertising a little bit right now, but we're talking about our friends over at LinkedIn Jobs. Now, access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs, because LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Now, you know, if it's free, it's me, so you should check it out as well. All you have to do is head on over, create a free job post. You can post a purple hiring frame on your personal profile picture to help others in your network recommend people that might be a good fit for your position. You also can use simple tools like screening questions to make it easy to focus on the right candidates. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find qualified candidates you want to talk to faster, and you can post about your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about over-unders. Now, this is going to be a fun one. We're starting to keep track here. So this is for the money. This is for the glory. This is for bragging rights on the season and the week. We're going to kick it off with the point spread right now, which Minnesota is favored by 20.5 points. So do you think Minnesota will win this game by 21 or more, or do you think Eastern Michigan will cover and be able to keep the Gophers within 20 points?
You know me. I'm Mr. Optimist. I really am. But I think I have to go with, I think Eastern Michigan might cover the spread.
Oh, curveball.
I love our defense. I really do. I just think there's stuff that I haven't seen from the offense yet. And I think that once they make that next step, then I'll be way more confident. Unless the defense comes out and scores a bunch of points, which that shouldn't count for what I'm saying here. But I think the defense is going to stop them, but I think it's our offense that has to show improve, even if it's a non-conference opponent. I really think we need to. You want to get every form of jitters out of the way before we go to North Carolina. So
I'm with you. I mean, I think you might have almost talked me into it, but you know what? If you're not going to go homer mode, I'm doing it. Smash the button. We're going over 21 points or more. The Gophers are going to win this one. And that isn't to say that Eastern Michigan isn't formidable, because they went 9-4 last year. They can get some dubs. They haven't had the greatest record against Power 5 schools, and I have no faith in their passing game. I think they have one receiver that has really gotten above like 400 yards in the last few years now. He's a graduate senior. I just think they're going to get behind, and they're going to have to abandon the run game, and I don't think they have the pass options to keep up. Now, their special teams are the real deal. Last week, they scored a 96-yard kick return touchdown, an 85-yard punt return touchdown, a safety on a punt. Their special teams is legit. But
that makes me nervous.
I don't know. I just think the Gophers are going to pull away on this one.
I would love for them to prove me wrong. That would be the best.
I'm just surprised. I thought you were for sure smashing that over.
My thing, I can't get over the offense, the run game. The run game is stuck in my brain. Is the run game. So once that's cleared up, and again, it was against the 3-3 defense. That 3-3 front is so weird. So I think once we get into a more normal set, then we'll be fine.
Yep. Okay, well, moving it to the points then. So we got over under. The line is 47.5 total points between the two teams. What are you thinking on this one? This is the time where you got to make sure the math is mathing over here.
I know. That's why I'm trying to break it down in my brain, just because of what I just said. If we don't cover the spread, and I don't think our defense is going to give up much points, so that's killing me. I'm going under, but I don't know. I'm going under, and I'm an over guy.
I'm going to go.
What is wrong with
you?
me?
Nope, I'm going to go under with you here, and that's crazy because I took the over, right? But I think it's going to be something like 31-7. 31-7 gives you about 38 total points. It's still well under that 47.5, and I feel comfortable with that score. I think this game reminds me a lot of the New Mexico State game, except for maybe Eastern Michigan is a bit better in that front, but they play a similar style kind of where they're going to have to be more gritty and calculated and really lean into special teams and things like that. And I think we beat New Mexico State like 38-0 last year. So I think it's going to be more like that. So I'll take the under with you as well. Now, the next line that we have, and this is just going to hurt you even more to try to predict it, total rush yards by the group of running backs. So not just one running back, the whole group of Gophers running backs, 135.5 rush yards. That's the line. Now, last week, they only had 58 rushing yards between their running backs. But Eastern Michigan gave up 237 rush yards to the Howard Bison running backs, an FCS HBCU university program. So there's a lot of wiggle room in here. So what are you thinking? 135.5.
That it seems, oh man, now I'm just getting all excited for the game. And my brain just says blowout, and it's just making me second guess everything I said. I like where that line is set. I think we go over as a collective, just because if it's a normal, they run a normal 4-man front, correct? So I think it's going to be easier.
I believe they do. Yeah.
It should be easier for everyone on the offensive line to read coverages, know who's coming, where the pressure's at. With the style of offense that they're running, with the where Athan kind of makes everyone show what they're going to do. That I think will benefit them more this week, because there won't be as much guessing involved, and more be that's my assignment. So I'm going to go over. I think over. I do think the running game is going to be better. I just need to see it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go over with you on this one. I think that we're going to see a classic PJ Fleck style Gopher team that we're used to seeing in this one specific week. I think we're going to run the ball like 40 plus times between the 4 running backs. I think Evans is going to get some touches. Darius Taylor is going to get some touches. And then we're going to see more of Tyler and Williams like we saw last week. I think they're going to run the mess out of the ball this week. So I'm going to take the over there as well. Now, the last three more over-unders. The next one is passing attempts for Athan Kaliakmanis. So we both talked about how we think they might run the ball more. They might have to find opportunities in the ground. But the passing attempts for Athan Kaliakmanis, the line is set at 29.5 attempts. So do you think he goes over 30 attempts, or do you think he stays under?
You just talked me into that running game. So I'm going to say just under. Just under. Because what did he have last week? 44, 45, something like
44,
that?
44. Which, absolutely bonkers.
Our Gophers throwing the ball 44 times? What?
Like what?
There's going to be some sort of correction. You're right. There will be some sort of correction to get back to knowing they can dominate the ball on the ground. I'm going under. I'm going just under on attempts.
I'm going under with you as well, and I can't wait for all the replies in my Twitter mentions during the game. Why aren't we passing the ball? Athan is our guy. Why aren't we doing it? Even if we're up like 30-0, they're going to be like, why are we still running the ball?
Oh.
All right, so let's move to the next line. 2 lines left. The next one is 2.5 sacks. Will the Gophers have 3 or more sacks, or will they have 2 or less sacks in this game? Last week they had 3. Remember, last year we only had 19 total, so there's bound to be some ebbs and flows here. But what are you thinking in this one? 2.5 sacks is the line.
Over. I'm going over. I love this defense. And last week, even when again, that's against Nebraska, which no slouch on offensive linemen in Nebraska. I love how many people are rotating in on the D line, and especially I don't know about Lindner being back, but I think over, definitely over. Everyone's fresh when they're rotating in. I love it.
I wanted to take the over here, but I'm taking the under because I think that Eastern Michigan is going to try to run the ball a lot in these first half, and then I just think that they're going to struggle to get things going. They run a triple option here and there, so the quarterback might be running a bit, which may make it harder to get some sacks. So I think 2 might be about right, so I'll take the under. Now the final line is turnovers forced. The line is set at 1.5. So do you think they'll have 2 or more turnovers in this game, or just 1 or less?
I think I like the over there too. This defense is the real deal. Tyler Newman's back there ball hawking. He's just waiting. So I think over here, whether that be at least a pick and a forced fumble or a fumble recovery or something like that, I think the over is safe.
I believe in this defense wholeheartedly, but I'm taking the under. I'm going to go with one turnover. Because I think it's going to be a classic Rossi game where we just get them 3 and outs. We get them off the field. We get lots of punts within this game, and they continue to just force them off the field, but maybe not create turnovers because, again, I don't know if they're going to pass the ball enough to get it going. So I'm going to take the under there. That's going to do it for us on over-unders, and we're going to move on to the thing that everybody comes to the show for, and that is the predictions. That's what's coming up next, and there's going to be some wild ones in this here, folks. I think we're going to have some hot topics for you, but before we do that, I definitely got to kick it over to our friends over at Gametime. Now, for any last-minute deals, you want to head over to gametime.co or download the Gametime app. They have the best last-minute tickets, and their best price is guaranteed. So you can stop stressing about the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you will have. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. You can even get images of your seats directly to your phone beforehand, so you know what to expect before you buy. And it'll only take about 2 taps and you're set to get your tickets. They come directly to your phone. It's not going to be in an email that you have to search through or anything like that. So you can snag tickets without the stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we doing it. We jumping into the predictions, and we're going to kick it off with the spicy one. We're going to kick it off with a fun one. Longest field goal that will be made by the Gophers in this game. What is your prediction for the longest field goal in this one?
Man. Well, if we go down and score every time, we don't have to worry about kicking any field goals.
That's true. It could be 0.
It could be 0. I'm going to say I could see us, maybe a drive stalls out. Let's go 30 yards, 32 yards, my number.
32. I'm going up and at him here. I'm going to say that Fleck let Dragan take the kick at 54 last week, and he pushed it left, but the distance was there. I think he's going to give him another 50-yarder. I'm going to go 51, and it's made to test out that leg and also give him some confidence moving into that North Carolina week. All right, so we're going to flip it to who leads this team in receiving yards for this game. I'm going to go first on this one, and I am going to take the easy option. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Daniel Jackson on this one. I think he's going to lead the room in receiving yards. So who is your call for this week on leading in receiving yards?
Actually, I like Corey Crooms this week. I think after the big Daniel Jackson game, I'm just saying I don't know who we got at cornerback on Eastern Michigan, but I think you throw your best guy at him, maybe throw a safety over the top, and Corey Crooms is going to have a day.
Zoom to Corey Crooms. Let's get it. All right. So who is going to lead this room in week 2 in rushing yards? You get the first pick on this one. Leading the room in rushing yards.
Who? Oh man.
And we'll say it can't be Athan too. It's got to be a running back.
Give me Evans.
Okay.
I think so. What did he have? He only had like 2 touches last week.
He didn't get a snap last game.
Oh, I thought he had a couple towards the end of the game. I just feel like everyone wants to get
the biscuit.
Get some carries. Yeah, give it to me.
He's going to run mad, man. He's going to be like, you didn't put me on the field last week, so I'm going to show you. I feel it. I'm going to run with the other young buck. I think that they're going to really let these young guys get some totes and get comfortable on the field now that it's not under the bright lights in a nationally televised game. I'm running with Darius Taylor. I think he's going to take over this room by the end of the year. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm going to run with him on this one. Now, who scores the first touchdown for the Gophers? There's so many options with how deep this team is that I'm going to let us take 2 people each, but we'll rotate. So I'll take the first one, then to you, and back and forth. So I'm going to stick and double down with the first touchdown, and I'm going to say Darius Taylor. I think they give him a goal line carry, and it's like a 2-yard punch in or something like that. So who do you got as your first pick for the scoring of the first touchdown?
I'm hate to do it because I hate jinxing this guy, but I think I'm going to go with Brev as my first pick. I
There
think
it is.
we finally see him. Put him in the end zone just once at least.
I feel like I had to give it to you to take that one because I feel like I took Brev in every category last week, and I was just
No,
like,
that's
maybe
fine.
I jinxed it. Maybe I
That's
spoke it
fine.
too much past into the existence. So
No,
maybe you taking it will make it happen. We'll do it. We'll do
maybe.
it.
I just don't want him to think I like him that much. That's what I'm worried about.
Hey,
That's my issue. I don't want him to think
he's a hard guy to like. Blood is not thicker than whatever they say. But anyway, let's go with the second touchdown player for me. I'm gonna go spicy here. I'm gonna go Lemeki Brockington on like a explosive play downfield. So that's gonna be my second pick. Who is your second one for the first touchdown in the game?
My second pick is I love Bryce on third down. I don't, he has his moments, but on third down, I really like him. He just seems like the strongest one of the in the running back room, where he's gonna punch one in, when you need it the most. It might be a short run, but he'll punch one in or short little catch. I like Bryce.
Yeah, he's had the most usage in the receiving game. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more from that in the running backs this week, but that's not a bad call at all. All right, we're going to move on to our offensive player of the game and defensive player of the game. I'll let you lead off with the offensive player of the game for this week.
Offensive player of the game. I don't want to take your usual skills player, but I like Bo. What we talked about before.
Okay.
I think he really is going to step up this week and show and prove that he's been here for some years now, and he's the guy. And I kind of like that. I like to see the offensive line shape up this week, and I think he's going to be the guy to impress you.
Now, fans might be asking, how can an offensive line be categorized as a player of the game? But you got to think, if we get some runs up the middle in scores, especially in those goal line situations, that's due to creation from Nathan Boe. So that's an easy way to kind of tell how much success he is having in that front. But I'm going to go with the skill position player. I'm going to lock it in with... Man, it's tough because if you pick a running back, they're probably all four going to get looks, so it's hard to pick one of those. And I've already said I don't think Athan's going to get more than 30 pass attempts. I'm going to go with Brev. I think he gets the most touchdowns in the week. Maybe they throw two short little touchdowns, get reps in there for him, get schemed looks for him. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. BJ Fleck, let's get it. Let's have it.
I would love it.
But let's flip it. Let's go defensive player of the game on this one. You first.
Oh, Danny Strego. I think I picked him last week too, and he had one sack. He had like 4 solo tackles. That guy's a dog. I love that. I love our defensive line. I don't know why. So I'm going him. I think he's gonna, especially if they're running a triple option at the end. Triple option is not that difficult to defend and set up for a lot of tackles.
I'm going to go with Trayvon Jones, cornerback. He got really involved in the run defense last game. He also had an interception. I think he keeps it going. I think he gets a lot of tackles in this game. I think he was a leader in the tackles on the team last week. So I'm going to run with him again. We got 3 more to fly through here. The first one is going to be, when will the first touchdown happen for Minnesota? You got to name the quarter and then take a guess at the time as a tiebreaker.
Oh, I think we score first drive. I'm going first quarter.
First drive.
First
Let's
quarter,
go.
first possession, first drive. I'm very excited. But again, I keep talking myself back into my first few picks today, but it's okay. I'm set myself, so I can't be wrong on both sides, right?
Right. I'm going to go middle of the first quarter. I'm going to go middle of the first quarter at like the 8-minute mark. 8-minute mark around there is when that first Gophers touchdown is going to happen. All right. And then the final 2 questions. Oh, go ahead.
What if we have a PJ Fleck drive and the first opening drive takes to the 8 minutes? Who gets the point?
I think you would get 2 points for that because you called the specific drive, and I just called the time. So
we've seen 6-7 minute drives from this team.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong one bit. Like, that was straight facts you were spitting right there. All right, the final 2 questions. First one is, what's your gut telling you? Do you think Crab will get play this week, maybe on a limited snap count, or do you think they hold off and maybe make sure he's more healthy for that week 3? What are you feeling?
I don't know. Like I said earlier, I do love him. I know when he gets back on that field, he's gonna have a bone to pick. Like, he's missed too much time, and so I really do think he'll be back. Sorry, my dog is being annoying. But I do think when he gets back on the field. But you do make a great point that, you know, if he's not at 100%, then why bring him back for this week? You know, save him for North Carolina. And, you know, PJ, even if we're up by, you know, 20-some points, he's not going to show everything we have. It's going to be just getting guys reps. So,
well, and I just think about if they're going to run the ball a ton like we imagined in this week, like, why not kind of show off the secret weapons? Why not show off the flash in that week 3 game and really be like, look, you want to try to stop the run? You want to try to stop Daniel Jackson, Tristyn Spann-Ford, Chris Belt? Pick your poison. Like, what are we going to do here?
It really is, and that's what I'm kind of leaning towards that way now. Like, you know, why wait until you get to North Carolina and then really, you know, put on a show.
I'm running with you there too. All right, final one, the one everybody knows and loves. The people are still sitting here at minute 31. Like, come on now, tell me what that score is going to be. What do you got for the final score in this one?
Okay, let's see. I picked the under. No,
you did.
Yes, I picked the under. So I like 31. Nope, 20. 27. Is that a number? Football number?
Yep.
27. 27.
There'd be 2 field goals in there, I think.
Oh no, let me go 30. Oh, what? 27 to 10. 27 to 10. What's the over under?
The over under for total points is 47. So that puts you at 37. So you're Gucci there.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's, yeah. I'm
All
trying
right,
not to contradict myself. Football math is
I'm going to
hard.
rock with 31 to 7. I'm going to rock it in 31 to 7. I think that's still 20 points. It is. So we're good. I'm still accurate with my overcall on the too much math. I know. I'm not doing it.
I just want to make sure it's not real. I'm giving scoregami numbers that never happened before on the football field.
All right, well, we'll have the ticker for next week. Y'all can drop your thoughts and comments and predictions in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe over on YouTube. Brother Boat, Scotty Go Gophers, and all that stuff. We'll see you next week.